Hello, everyone. I hope all of you are doing fine. This is Brother Benson, and let me take this opportunity to welcome both of you this evening, which I don't think is a very good evening. That's why I wanted to say the word good evening, because I know it's not a good evening. It has not been, for the last 24 hours, it has not been good, especially for um, quite majority of Kenyans, especially to Albert parents and to any youth, even us who are here. It is so painful. Let me take this opportunity to just to give you to say hi to our viewers as we dive into the discussion of today.
Okay, thank you. Let me also take this opportunity to welcome our viewers this evening and to let them know that I've not been around for some few days. I'm now around. I thank God for the protection, and what I can say is that, of course, as a country, we are in mourning. As the youths of the Republic of Kenya, we are not at a good place if youths who are struggling without the help of the government are being killed anyhowly. And we see some leaders coming out to speak as if, they are in their own world. Just like we've always said, personally, I've always said that the people of Kenya, we are alone, the youths are alone, and we should not expect anything positive from this government. I think the best thing that we need to do is continue pressing on. We are not going to lose hope whether the youths are silenced. We shall fight. We shall fight, even if it means that we will all end up at the streets of Nairobi or whichever place.
Mhm.
I will personally, under the capacity that I have and with the little influence I have, will continue fighting for the people of Kenya and especially the youths. That is my take this evening.
Okay, thank you so much, Makubura, for that. Miguda, your take, please.
First, just want to greet all of you for making your good time to come to the show. And also, I would like to welcome our viewers for this wonderful session. And also, like any other Kenyan, I just want to condole with the family who have lost the young and promising individual. It has not been easy. It is not easy. It will not be easy. Like we have said before, that the struggle continues. The comrade is gone, but people must keep on pressing because that is the way to go. There's nothing you can do about it. You have to speak out. It doesn't matter. The people have been killed before. They are going to kill many people. People are dying every day, the way they say, but for the right cause. So it's very unfortunate to miss a young man like that caliber, promising Kenyan, a person whose only mistake was maybe logging. But we are saying sorry to the family for the disease, and also we condemn to the highest term possible that anybody who might be having a hand about the death of the deceased should be prosecuted expeditiously, and the people should know the root cause of the death of that person. It's very unfortunate, but anyway, that is the way to go. The struggle will still continue.
Okay, thank you so much, Miguda. One of the hardest thing to do, especially for me, even to say that boy to rest in peace, is one of the things that I cannot say, because I'm heartily broken, especially with the death of this young man. And if you look very keenly, you look at the family background, you saw the father, on what the father was saying. Somebody who has been working for 20 years in Akwara is not easy. It means the life of that father during those times, for 20 years that he was struggling to educate this boy. The father was living a struggling life. Then immediately after the son has completed the school, they go back to the village, and and there's something that the father did, especially when the police officer came and identified themselves. He handed over the son, and as a good father, he followed up with the police. He was told to go to Mawego. That is from the recounts that we are getting from him. Then the following day, the father just followed the son to Nairobi. So within a period of 15 hours or less than a day, this is somebody that was well. This is somebody that was okay. But now, within a short period of time, your son is dead. And if you're very keen, especially, and that's why sometimes I question the justice, and I question how our leaders are, especially when matters like this one comes to the public domain. You saw the justice, especially the people who are living below the poverty line, the people who are struggling. When it happens, you don't see the leaders rushing to the even to the press to condemn. It takes them long time, more than 24 hours before they come to the screen and say all that. We appreciate those who have come out to give the presser and those who even have given. But look if happened to one of them. If this was somebody in the leadership, or it could be, if it was somebody in the leadership family, do you think it could have been like this? We could have seen leaders trooping to that family. We could have seen leaders go on Twitter. Tell me any of the leaders who have tweeted about this. And we would just want to take a typical example, because sometimes it makes you go numb. When I'm not saying that. Take a typical example with what happened to Ongondo Were. What happened? When the news broke out, all members of parliament, especially from where Ongondo hails from, they were pressing the police. But what did we see with the son? The father stayed there until 10. You're being told we are still counting. The next thing you're told, go to the mortuary, the body of the son. Surely, we are losing it. The life of human being. This is a father who has been struggling for 20 years to raise a son. Yeah? And when the father released the son to the police, he knew very well that your son is going to be safe in the hands of the police, because it's by law that state will always protect the lives of the people. And I don't think the father was worried that something can happen to my son, because that's the law. You believe that state would protect the lives of this young man. Look at the father. And sometimes I listen to leaders saying that we are privy and we are waiting for police investigation, just because it's coming from a father who does not have a godfather. If at all he had a godfather, I don't think that even the guy could have reached the central police station. He could have been released by the following day. Let's face it. It is so sad. I don't know him personally, but what that guy went through, it kills your heart. It makes you go numb. It kills you as a person, as a mother or as a brother, as an uncle. He just married the other day with a one child. Anyway, I'm so much broken, and this one comes immediately. Remember what happened to the other lady. It kills you. Yeah. So I think sometimes you know it is not okay. You know, it is not okay. Even though and if you look at the 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 this the press, that was the written document that was written by the police, especially first. Let me just read it for you. And I know I'm not the authority, but it doesn't convince me at any point. It doesn't convince me at all. It doesn't convince me at all. It tells you it doesn't. When even you saw those photos, let me just read for you something before I invite my brother Joseph. Joseph, thank you so much for joining the show.
Okay, maybe before Joseph also comes in, allow me to acknowledge the presence of Gypsy Icon at the comment section, who is watching us. Allow me to acknowledge the presence of Douglas. Allow me to acknowledge the presence of Patrick. There is also, of course, Joseph here. We've got Susan, who is also watching us. And there's a question here from. There are several comments that we'll read after you finished.
Okay. Now this is where I tend I'm still finding it very difficult to understand. Maybe all of you can assist me to understand. This was the first press, immediate press. This was released yesterday. Clarification on the death of Albert Omondi Ojwang. The National Police Service has noted reports circulating on the social media regarding the death of a suspect alleged in custody at the Central Police Station. Alleged in the custody. It is alleged. He's not in the custody. So which means if it is alleged, which means even them, they're not sure where this guy was. That's the place that I'm still defeated. How can you say that alleged in the Central Police Station? Alleged. Because if something is alleged, which means there's not, that surety is not there. Okay, now, and it's contradicting. Maybe I'm understanding very, very wrongly. If you will help me understand. This is the second part. NIPS confirmed that Albert Omondi Ojwang was lawfully arrested by the DCI detectives from false publication and placed in custody. Placed in custody where? But it was alleged up there that it was alleged. While in the custody, the suspect sustained head injury after hitting his head against the cell wall. Who was there in the cell? And when somebody was hitting his head on the wall, the police who were manning the station, they did not even hear any commotion or any sound that they might have suspected. And remember, it was alleged. And now is hitting the self on the wall. My understanding of English is a foreign language. Maybe if it could have been written in Kiswahili, I could have understood it more, or in my native language, that is the Luo, ningeitathmini na nijue sawasawa. Yeah, so the suspect's injury after hitting his head against the cell wall, police officers on duty prompted and noticed the injuries and rushed him to Mbakadhi, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. In line with this, okay, that's where I don't understand, especially the alleged then hitting himself on the wall. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. It's so sad, especially to me. No, it is very unfair. We are losing it. Where the life of human being, he was arrested, and you ask yourself, he was handed to the detectives, which he was arrested legally from all the way from Homa Bay to Nairobi. Let me Makobura, what do you have to say then? Migoda, then our friend Joseph will come and comment about this.
Okay, yeah. So just like you've explained it, I also followed the same the whole story, and it's so painful, and I've come to realize that, just like I did comment, the people of Kenya are alone, and it is so unfortunate that the government is killing its future. We've always been told that youths are the future, the future leaders, the future entrepreneurs, the future CEOs. I don't know whether that is a term that they use to confuse us or to give us hope. But in an extent, or in a scenario where someone is just giving his views, we have a constitution that permits us, it gives us the authority to give our views, it gives us the freedom to speak. Why would they then arrest this young gentleman in the village? All the way from Oma Bay, there are courts within that county. There are police stations, police whatever. There are so many over there. What was so important that they needed to travel with him all the way from Oma Bay to Nairobi? To Nairobi. I think this is something that they had planned. It was something that was well planned, because there is no any justification on the reason why they had to brought him to Nairobi. If it is a matter of DCI, there are so many departments of DCI in the police post and those police, stations. It was an order from above. That is what we can say. It's just like they're trying to, come up with so many explanations. You heard them say that he was interdicted, or he was being arrested because there were some complaints from the deputy IG. And then, if you followed the story of the father, he said that when he went to the police station in Mawego, he was told that the boy had, commented some bad things about the mkubwa wao. That is what that's the term they used. And so just comments would warrant, I'm trying to imagine these leaders or this mkubwa wao, they have children. I don't know what is so wrong in Kenya that a life of a commoner, a life of a civilian, a life of a citizen, a life of someone whose parents are not known is not important in the Republic of Kenya. But a life of a politician, a life of the children of politician, a life of the children of police or bosses, they are important. And we are seeing a situation where those people that we elected, that partly are supposed to voice or to come out to try defending the human rights, they are the people who are coming out. I was going through some comments and I saw one particularly by Karen Nyamu, who is a nominated senator. The way what she wrote in a social media, I'm quite sure I understand English very well. I ask myself, this Senator Karen Nyamu, does she have children? And how would she feel if her child would go through the same? Just like you've been told, you know very well how, the Luo, people from Luo region, are naturally, majority of them are polygamous. And you heard the story from the father. He just had one child, and the reason being he was not really able to take care of the many, just like he was explaining. So he struggled with this young one child just to educate him, to take him through all the levels as required in the republic. And so when the young man now finally gets to a point where he's now getting married, he's marrying, and he's now having one kid, now you finish this young gentleman just because, let's say, for example, he abused. Let's just use that word. He abused the boss. So does abuse or writing something on social media warrant the death of a Kenyan, the death of someone that also has blood, that blood flows in them? I think there's no way they can justify this. The fact of the matter is that we alone, the people of Kenya are alone, and all these are simply calls. These are calls that we need to get back to the street. It is better that the people of Kenya be killed, especially the youths, be killed on the streets, fighting for their future and fighting for their children. If the son of this young gentleman now grows, how will the mother tell the child that your father was picked home here while we were having lunch, driven and taken to Nairobi, and killed in a police cell? Remember, we've got police, and they're independent as per the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. The Constitution gives them the mandate to protect life. I then ask myself, then the police have been pretending. Sometimes I do see people do mob justice on people and then they come to save. In this case, it is so painful because they go pick someone at their home while the person is enjoying life with his family, new wife with the new baby boy or baby girl, and then you pick him, you go kill him in Nairobi. At least they would have killed him in his rural area. Maybe it would have been, I don't know. It's a wake up call. We need to get back to the street. And we are not fearful as a youth. Personally, me, I'm not fearful. If it is death that you are killed in the line of fighting for the lives of peoples, as Christian, personally, I believe that we are called, or the reason why we exist, is to make the world better. Making the world better means that you do something good that is going to help someone who is going to come before after you. And doing that is, of course, first speaking about the truth, speaking about the negatives that are being done, reminding the leaders that they have a responsibility, because part of this responsibility is they carried, if they are Muslims, they carried the Quran. If they are Christians, they carried the Bible. And before the people, they said that we are going to follow this constitution. We are going to ensure that the rights of the people, part of their mandate is protecting the lives of the people of Kenya. At this extent, are we really at a position where we should, we should not care, or we should just keep quiet and wait for these people to protect us? The truth of the matter is that we are not going to be protected by these people. We have to get out. We have to fight for ourselves. And it is also a reminder, it's a call. As much as I'm coming from the Luo Nyanza region, we are told that we have a kingpin over there, and we are told that we are in government. And I find it so sad that I remember what happened to the member of parliament of Kasipul. Immediately that news was aired, we saw almost all members of parliament, all leaders, joining, and they were all holding press and saying how bad it was. And remember, this is I'm not trying to compare anything here, but I'm trying to ask myself whether there are some lives which are more important than others. There are some people who are important than others. How do you justify killing a young gentleman? At least, for example, the member of parliament had families and had sons. There are some sons of him who are going to take the same position. But how do we justify when you kill a young father who are, who are just, we will, after maybe we finish this, we'll also create another session at around 9 specifically
Okay.
to talk about this so that I don't deal more on this.
Okay, thank you so much, Makobura. And Miguda, say a little, can you give your view? Then Joseph too will give, and I will also read you the second press that was given by IG Kanja, and you will explain to me, because there are so many questions that need to be asked here. And our good Patrick has said, why don't you guys invite some MPs here to reason with them? Perhaps it will create some weight. I tell you, we've tried. I tell you. First of all, some of them, if they look at how many subscribers do you have, when they see you have like one, we don't have. We've tried. We've tried. I tell you, my friend, we usually try, because like there's some information that we need. Because one of the things is the leaders to represent the people. This is a representative. Yeah, this is one of the people that you should. Hey, anyway, Miguda, what is your take? Then we invite Joseph to come and also share his view.
Just excuse me. I just want to be brief because one of the comrades is gone, and what is very much important is that the right to life. That's a core right, whereby each and every humanity has a right to life. And even though we have a right to life, but there's that rights of arrested person. And an arrested person has got no right to be killed. An arrested person must be informed the reason of arrest and must be told why he's being arrested and must be presented within 24 hours to a court of law. But the deceased, even the time he was being arrested, there's some rights which were violated. And we condemn that one because it's like the dad released the child to be killed. And even if he committed crimes, even a capital offense, there is no consequence that if you commit murder, the punishment is death. So even the people who are alleged to have killed Ongondowe, they were brought before the court. None was killed. Why are they killing a young man? I don't want to speak much about the street, but time will tell. But what I want to say is that the state of the cops, they told us that he hit his head over the wall. But we have asked many questions. Were there not enough walls back at home? Why was it that he can only hit his head at the police custody? Were there not enough walls at home? Because at home there were walls. He could have as well hit the head at the walls at home. So we understand. We understand the game. Anyway, those people who are living will fight another day. But even the corpse itself, there were no injuries on the head. There were just injuries on the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. So likely, it is not what they are talking to us. It's very unfortunate, and we are calling on the National Police Service and also the IPOA to come out so that IPOA can ensure to provide that oversight to the police officers. So that's what we are calling out now.
Thank you so much, Miguda, for that short brief. Karaoke, thank you so much also for joining. Can you please give us your view or your take on what has happened to a young Kenyan, especially picked by the police and alive at home, but died in the custody of the police?
Good evening, my brothers. I hope for 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 me it is in the evening. I don't know about your time wherever you are. Yesterday I waited for you to come live, and we took a lot. I waited and waited, but I did not. Finally,
Okay.
the it went like that, but it's okay.
Oh, okay, let me just
Brother,
explain. Let me just explain.
huh?
Sorry to cut you short. Let me just explain. Actually, there was a day that StreamYard had issues whereby when you invite guests, there's no way the guest is not seeing on the studio, so we had to fix it. So it was also to do with the StreamYard, the app that we are using. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, brother. It's a sad day and a sad evening for the nation. We have lost one of our one, even not one of our comrades, one of our teachers, because Ojuang was a teacher. It's very sad. I think the whole community of the teachers, not only the teachers, the whole community of online people, the whole community of young people, we should be very angry and very mad, because this is a horrifying thing. Can you imagine you have taken your time to bring up a man from a young age, and just by a day, or not even a day, some hours, his life has been taken. And his life has not just been taken, it has been taken because of stupid reasons. It's better you could have been having a reason that you have taken his life. You have taken his life for nothing. That because he said that somebody is corrupt, or I don't know, somebody is doing corrupt deals. He has just taken away. They have taken away his life just because of silly things. Yeah? And we still have other people there. They still have terrorists there, but we don't see them fighting with them. Why do we have all these muscles? They are coming to the CBD and to the towns to kill our youth. They are not. They are not even able to fight with the bandits in Baringo. It's a shame that a whole police officer can go and kill a person in a police cell instead of going fighting with the bandit there in Baringo. We should be calling for all those police officers who are stationed in Nairobi, all of them to be shifted and be taken to as cattle restaurants there in Baringo. We see if they be able to fight with the bandits and all these other people. Because it's also a shame. How can a whole inspector general take around 10 minutes telling us nonsense? You know, I got angry. I got angry because even I commented in all the media stations he was commenting. I have never seen a very useless IG in the history of Kenya. This one and the one who was there before, they are the most useless IGs in the history of Kenya. Huh? We don't know even where to start. And this thing should unite all of us, because today it can be Zojuang, tomorrow is who? Tomorrow it will be somebody close to you. It can be your brother. It will be maybe your sister. Huh? How many people have been killed by this regime since they took over? How many people? I don't know even if it is countable, because of of what they have been doing. I have never seen a cruel regime like this one. They are killing people like it's nothing. When we talk about it, they want even to kill us more. I don't know if today, Mr. Oguda and or Mr. Obura, you have seen the video of the guy who has been arrested. He was taking pictures of the people who are demonstrating. So that is the way they want us to work. I'm telling you, if they want us to work like that with them, we will be finding one police officer who is not uniformed, he's been killed. Because that is the way they are taking us. And you are going to a very dangerous route. And also remember, before we went for the demonstration for 2024, you remember the Finance Bill 2024, before the parliament was banned. You remember people are very angry. People are very angry. They are taking us back to them. We have not even read the finance bill. Huh? We are still we are now angry about our youth. Now imagine they are bringing us now coming to a finance bill. Huh? I don't know, but where we are heading, brother, where we are heading, it is a slippery slope. And I'm praying so much for my country, but it's not heading the right direction. And I don't see even this guy finishing his term. I don't see it. If he's going to take us this way, we will not finish. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my brother, for your view. And I'm still. I told you, like, I was so much heartbroken, especially when you listen to this story and you see what the police are saying. Because when let me just read you another the report. I mean, the news for the police, especially the IG. And there's so many questions that I need also to know from here. This is the one the IG now gives, because I think like the IG just came in because now this thing was becoming it was now in the public domain. He said that on Friday, 6th June, Albert Omondi Ojwang was arrested in Homa Bay County by DCI detectives of offense of false publication records. Records indicate that he was transported to Nairobi. Why was it being transported to Nairobi? That is my question. When he was questioned by officers from DCI headquarters on Saturday, he was later booked at Central Police Station under occurrence book. But okay, under occurrence book, that is ours. Given the circumstances surrounding the incident, it was necessary to investigate. Now, if you look at the first statement and you look at now what the Kanja is giving, there are two. You're trying to clean up the first one because it was alleged he was in custody. Now this one is cleaning it up. Yeah. So additionally, to ensure through impartial and expeditious investigation by impending. Okay, so these are the people. The office commanding station OCS, those are interdicted, the duty officer, and there are around 5 people. My question is, before you interdict this, the 3, what about the distance from Homa Bay in the hands of DCI to the police station in Central Police Station? What happened? Should they not also be investigated because they had him driving him all around? And again, why would somebody be driven all the way from Homa Bay? And yet we have DCI offices in those areas. We have courts. It is okay to arrest somebody. If they say that there was a false publication, yes, that's okay. And everybody, even if the deputy IG, yes, it is his right to know and say, okay, this is something that have to go through courts. But does it mean that there were no courts to handle that, or jurisdiction of where you are arrested to be taken to court?
Brother Benson, I have a question. I have a question to ask you.
Yeah.
You have told us about all those things. Let me ask a question.
Yeah.
In Homa Bay, who are the people who are the police the unit that does inspection investigation?
In Homa Bay we have DCIs.
In so DCIs, every county has DCI that they do investigations. Yes. Which investigations were they doing when they are shifting that guy from there to Nairobi? Are the DCIs in Homa Bay not able to do the investigations? If they are not able, they get off, all of them. If the DCIs in Homa Bay, they are not able to do the investigation, why are they bringing him to? They take them off, because you cannot be. Why is the need of DCI then in Homa Bay? They could have brought all of it to Nairobi. They be coming to do people investigation on what they are saying in Nairobi. Huh? Then also, how can you? DCI came to be investigated in Kiambu Road, DCI. Why was he taken to Central Police Station again? DCI, they have their cells there. Why did they take him? They have their remand there. They could have remanded him and shifted him to the courts if they are taking they were to take any action against him to the court of law. Why they needed to take him back to Central Police Station?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Joseph. Sorry, guys. I think I'm not so much stable today, especially when I'm talking the issue of this guy. So you will allow me to drop. I'm really, really very sorry, because I find myself not collected on this. So you will have to forgive me for that. And also, thank you so much, guys, for joining. I always appreciate your time. Gypsy Corner, thank you so much. Gitonga, thank you so much. Joseph Karaoke, thank you so much also for joining. I hope hamtaona vibaya, but I'm not collected, I'm not composed, so you'll have to forgive me on that. Thank you so much for your time.
How we can put it, there's no other way that we can quote it. I think that is the best word. Jeru, unasemaje?
Siwezi kusema hata habari, brother. I'm in a pain. I haven't slept a whole night since I seen what happened. But this is not right. This is not right at all to anybody. Kenyan, fellow Kenyans. Why? Kwa nini polisi wanashika Wakenya kama kama criminal, high criminal without gun? Where is warrant to seek a Mukenya citizen without gun? You have to have a warrant from court. Sio kuingia huko tu na kutoa na kushika watu kama criminals. Alikuwa na gun? Ana gun? Watu wale criminal kama wale Tera, hao ndio wanashikwa namna hiyo, lakini sio citizen. Citizen ni lazima waende kotini, polisi wakuwe na warrant, wakuje wakusearch na wakueleze kwa nini mnashikwa, na wakueleze huo majina ya polisi na namba zao, wapatie family, alafu munaenda nao. Ukipelekwa polisi, kesho yake upelekwa kotini. Sasa ile vile nimeangalia kutoka jana, mimi sijalala, na sasa hapa ni saa 6 tena. I'm going 24 hours. I'm mother. I can feel my brother, the father of this child, this my young man, and the mother. I feel same. I'm in a tease a whole day. I can't eat. It's very painful. What kind of Ruto life wants Kenya citizen to live? How the Ruto? How the him to punish Kenyans this way? Na why? Ni lazima kila law ikija ikuwe na polisi pale wale wanaua. Kwa nini wanaua wa Kenya? Hiyo ni kitu ya kuua mtu. Evident iko wapi? Ni polisi wameua huyu mtu. Hakuna mtu mwingine. Sio Ruto aende huko kwa sero ajigogese hiyo kichwa yake tuone kama atakufa. Wanatubeba ufala kwa nini? Ati amejigogesa kwa ukuta. Swali. Kwa hivyo Ruto ako na PhD na hiyo polisi zake wajinga ndio wanafikiria kila Mkenya ako na akili kama vile wao. Wana akili. Tujasoma, tuna PhD. Kwa nini wanaua watoto? Kwa nini? Tangu mwaka jana anaua. Na huyu Raila ananyamaza tu, hajasema kitu. Huyu Raila ndio anaingiza hao watoto kwa hii maneno. Mliona nikiingilia Raila mkono mimi mjinga, mimi nimetoka na Raila kutoka Moi. I know him. Na hii inaniuma, hajasema kitu. Kwa nini? Nataka kujua kwa nini wamemuua. Na tena wanamtoa mpaka wapi? Kisumu. Nairobi. Alafu wanadanganya huyu baba yake. Asubuhi wanajua saa 1 huyu baba amekuja na gari kutoka Kisumu na basi. Hajalala, hajakula. Alafu asubuhi wanamwangalia kama fala. Atienda ukunywa chai, tunahesabu. Hesabu gani police station 7? Hesabu ni ya 6. Hesabu gani? Atienda ukunywa chai na wanajua vile wamefanya. Ni hao wamemuua. Na sio ati kutolewa kwa kazi, wanatakana wakuwa wamestakiwa. Hao wote wale walienda kumchukua ile kipikipi 3, baba ndio anasema ni kipikipi 3, bilibili. Wale wa 6 na wale walikuwa kwa station. Mimi najua tabia ya polisi ya Kenya. Ukiingia pahali wanakupiga mpaka ukufe. Ati wanasema na hii mikono huko amefuja ni ya nini? Si alikuwa anajikinga. Amekufa na hiyo uchungu kwa nini? Amewacha mtoto mdogo. Baba amefanya kazi kwa mawe mpaka asomeze huyu mtoto. Where the point? Nilisema hapa kwa hii Ruto, watoto wajasa, mnaona kama ni kucheza. Amenunua hawa watoto. Huwezi kuwa umezaa watoto na umelea, alafu unafanya watoto wa wenyewe namna hiyo. Uliona ule baba Mwangi alikuwa analia kwa koti. Watu wanafikiria ni mchezo. Hebu niambie huyu baba pale yako sasa na ana mtoto mwingine. Ni ule nyuma ama mbele ana mtoto mwingine.
Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me now? Okay, thank you so much. And I don't know what happened because like I was just behind the scenes, and as I told you earlier, it's so painful, especially like what has really happened to the young person, because there's so many questions that everybody is asking. What was the offense? You know, and after realizing, after knowing that was the offense, and why could he go through this? You know, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. You know, especially when you look at the family, that's where my thoughts are. You look at the father, and you relate, because majority of us, especially those who are coming from families that are not wealthy, the families that are struggling, that for a father to struggle that, and this one comes to happen, especially at a prime time of his age, you know, then the explanation that you're being given, especially by those who have been given the mandate to be the protectors of life, you know, because as I said earlier, when you are given an opportunity, or when you are in the custody of the police, it it gives you, it convinces you that you are in the safe hands. It convinces you are in the safe hands. That what usually is, but this one is quite unfortunate. And you know, if you look at what has happened, especially for this year, look at the report of Kenya on the Kenya human rights. Almost over 60 uh, of the 60 young men who died, you know, and nobody has been arrested, or there are so cases that are going in course, especially including the one for Rek Masai, you know. And now is this young boy, and you ask yourself questions, and you look at the response, especially of the leaders. That is the response that we are looking at. Hey, Biguda, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine. Where are the people?
I don't know what happened, because like I was in the back room, the backstage. So the only thing I saw everybody left the studio. So I don't know whether it is happening with Makobura
I think
or
Makobra, because like me, I was alone. Then I left. I was alone.
yeah,
I
I saw
find
you.
myself alone.
I don't know whether it was because of light, but if it could be light on the Makobura side because he's the host, so the rest of you could have stayed
The
in.
guest could be here. Well, I think the three